You receive a random call in the middle of a busy day.
This is Amazon Fraud Detection Unit. Someone using your account just purchased a MacBook Pro.
This is nonsense. It's not me, and I hung up the phone on her.
But several hours later, you start to worry that someone may actually have access to your Amazon account. You do a web search for Amazon Fraud Detection Unit, and you speak to a man who you think is legitimate.
He said, these are some serious federal crimes.
I'm going to have to transfer you to our rep with the Federal Trade Commission.
I said, this is crazy.
What would you do? This is the story of what happened to Mary Ellen Strange. In a world where scams are everywhere, trust is a dangerous game. Fake callers, fake websites, fake crimes, even finding customer support online can serve up a fake phone number. Scam perpetrators have long relied on getting their targets into a heightened state of emotion, what they call getting their targets under the ether. Then they can get us to believe the web of lies they spin.
My initial call was on June 18th in 2024. I had carpet cleaners at my house, and my little dog Bella was chasing the two gentlemen and their machine all over the house and barking up a storm. Normally, I don't answer phone call numbers that I don't recognize, but in all the commotion, I just answered it. Hello?
This is Amazon Fraud Detection Unit. We're calling you to tell you that someone using your account just purchased a MacBook Pro. This seemed unusual based on your purchase history, so we wanted to be sure it was you.
And I said, no. And she said, well, we did some research and there's some concerns because we see your name is tied to a money laundering scheme. We suspect, there's some issues here. And I said, you know what? I don't have time for this. This is nonsense. It's not me. And I hung up the phone on her. About 3 or 4 hours later, I was thinking about it. I wasn't so concerned about the charges. I was more concerned about somebody buying something on my account. And I thought, oh, I better follow up on that. So I Googled Amazon Fraud Detection Unit, and a number popped up, and I called it.
Amazon Fraud Detection Unit, how can I help you?
And it was a man, so someone different, and he repeated all the same charges.
There's a long list of serious crimes here. With fraud cases like this, we work closely with the Federal Trade Commission. I'm transferring your call to them.
He passed me to another department, and the gentleman that answered there,
This is Officer Felix Edwards with the Federal Trade Commission.
he asked me all the same questions. Did you do this and that? And I said, no, that wasn't me.
It looks like you're a victim of identity theft.
He said, well, you have two options. We're going to have to press charges and pursue arrest warrants. We will lock all of your money down because of the suspicion of money laundering. You'll have to hire your own attorney and go public with your case in the courts. And I said, oh, that doesn't sound like a very good option. So what's my second option?
Option 2, keep all of this confidential, work directly with us, and tell no one.
He said, I will need to document all of your accounts in order to prove that you're not money laundering. We will work together and I will present it to the courts, but it must be 100% confidential because we trust no one. We talked every day. He kept tabs on my schedule. He knew where I was, what I was doing. I would say I was in panic mode. It was really hard for me not to say anything, especially to my family. Isolation was hard. The secrecy was hard. He was getting to know me. I was feeling more comfortable with him. And I think all of that led to trusting that he had my back. The first purchases were Bitcoin. I'd never done anything like it. He walked me through step by step what came up on the screen, and then he sent me to Walmart to buy prepaid gift cards. He sent me to CVS, and I bought prepaid Visa cards. He used all the techniques. I even said to him one day, I said, "This is crazy. Why am I doing all this?" And he said, "We have to document all of your money and prove that it's yours, that you have it in your possession." When it came time to withdraw the annuities, Officer Edwards instructed me to withdraw everything but $100,000 out of one account and to pull everything out of the other account. But I said, "Well, don't I want to give you the extra $100,000 because you're going to return it to me at the end?" He said, "No, you don't want to pull that money out because if you pull everything out of both annuities, you're going to raise concerns that you're trying to take all your money and run. So keep $100,000 in the one account and close the other one." It's all part of his scheme to build trust. It worked, unfortunately, because I thought, well, okay, I guess, he's looking out for me. I will say there probably was always that question in my mind, is this real? But I could not fathom that it was fraud. I really couldn't. In the course of the summer, there were 3 pickups at my home. The first one was in late June, and it was $30,000 in cash. The second pickup was in early to mid-July, and it was gold coins, some of which I had bought on a credit card. August 2nd was the last pickup, and that was gold bars. I had talked with him the day before. He knew I had everything ready. I sent him pictures of the box I had packaged. He had told me that he was working on confirming the meeting for Monday evening for me to meet with the 3 people that were going to return everything to me. They were going to lock down all of my accounts on Saturday night. And he said, "Take anything that's left in your accounts at this point." I started getting suspicious Saturday night late because I saw money look like it was moving, and I thought, now how did that happen if they locked down my accounts? So on Sunday, I took a debit card and went to the grocery store and just decided, to buy anything and use my debit card. I went through. I started to get a little nervous, and I thought, it doesn't look to me like they locked my accounts down last night. I didn't hear from him on Saturday, didn't hear from him on Sunday, and then I didn't hear from him on Monday, and I texted him early Monday morning and said, "I'm getting nervous. In fact, I'm getting a little scared. Please call me." I didn't hear from him. He didn't respond to it at all. So I waited till late Monday. No one came, and I thought, this is it. I had prayed a lot all summer when these things were going on, and I remember as I saw that car going down the road, I just remember thinking, "Dear God, please tell me I've done the right thing, and I pray that's not my life savings going down the road." And that's exactly what it was.
All in all, Mary Ellen lost almost $400,000. The script is tried and true for the scam. Mary Ellen's initial search for the fraud detection unit yielded a fake number that brought her right back into the criminal's grasp. She almost got out of it unscathed by hanging up on that very first caller, but when doubt crept in, she re-engaged, giving the criminals the opportunity they needed. They treated Mary Ellen like a baton race, expertly passing her from one character to the next until they reached the finish line. There is one piece of guidance that, had Mary Ellen known, may have stopped the scam in its tracks, and that is to go directly to the source to determine if there's an actual problem. In her case, had Mary Ellen logged into her Amazon account to see if someone actually used it to buy a MacBook Pro, she would have seen that the purchase was never charged to her account. Perpetrators often manipulate their targets into believing they are helping to protect them from bad people. Then they increase anxiety by requiring extreme secrecy. They coach them through things they'd never think they could do, like handing off large amounts of cash to a stranger. And once they feel they've stolen enough, they disappear, covering their tracks with precision and leaving their victims without much hope.
If someone tells you 100% secrecy, it's fraud. If someone poses as a federal officer and asks you for money over the phone, it's fraud. If someone tells you to lie, it's fraud. If somebody tells you to purchase gift cards or cryptocurrency or gold coins or gold bars, it's fraud. When I started looking at taxes, I realized I was going to be in debt probably $100,000 to the IRS. I found a series of articles on fraud that led me to AARP, and I became aware of their Fraud Watch network. I started going to online support group meetings. I called the Fraud Watch Network helpline to try to begin to get some advice. I couldn't even fathom how to navigate this whole tax situation. And who knows what that's going to do to the rest of my retirement. People prior to 2018 didn't have to pay taxes on fraud losses, and people after this year won't have to pay unless they renew the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. New Albany, Indiana is my hometown, so I'm trying to set up meetings to get bipartisan buy-in because this is not a political issue. It can happen to anyone.
In June of 2025, Congress reauthorized many of the cuts made in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, but they did not address the theft loss provision. Mary Ellen has committed to continuing her fight, along with AARP, to resolve this.
I tend to be a very positive person and upbeat and joyful most days. So I just thought, well, okay, this is the way life is, and what are you going to do about it? And I started sharing my story, and it's the first time I'd shared with a large group, maybe 40 to 50 women were there. I was emotional when I told the story, and at the end, they gave me a standing ovation. And I just thought, this is my mission. If I can prevent this from happening to any one of you, then that will be my legacy.
Mary Ellen's hope is that sharing her story can help stop this crime from happening to others. One way to help keep the next target from becoming the next victim is to speak out, and for all of us to share what we know. If you or someone you know has been targeted by fraud, we can help. AARP Fraud Watch Network is a free resource for all. With AARP as your partner, you'll learn how to proactively spot scams, get guidance from our fraud specialists if you've been targeted, and feel more secure knowing that we advocate at the federal, state, and local levels to protect consumers and enforce the law. You are not alone. Find out more at aarp.org/FraudWatchNetwork or call the Fraud Watch helpline at 877-908-3360.